Well, as you can see, we're out on the water, and this is what we call Dubois Park, and this is the Jupiter Inlet, right where we live. Boats are actually 2 boats here heading out to the ocean, and sort of nice, obviously a beautiful day here. And we're both finally back home together. We were separated for a couple days. We were both in Lincoln, and then separated for a couple days. She stayed on, Susan stayed on, and I came home. And now we're both home and trying to catch up with our lives, and it's just sort of been a bit of a challenge. So what we wanted to do today, by the way, I wonder if you can see the lighthouse there, but let me see if I can bring that in closer. Yeah, somewhat closer. But what we wanted to do today is sitting out here a little bit. We wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. It's been a challenge. We're both in our 70s, early 70s, and we're dealing with elderly parents, both of us, her mother and my father, with their own issues. And it's sort of like we spend I'm not complaining, but we do spend quite a bit of time working on those things. And so back and forth to Lincoln oftentimes, because we don't want to leave that stuff to Sarah, and she's got enough with her family, and here it's my brothers and I sort of helping my dad. Well, a brief little update. My father approached us about a month ago, and he's finding it, he said, increasingly difficult to cook and to get around and do some of the day-to-day things. He's still able to dress himself, still able to take care of personal hygiene issues and all that. And at first he even said he wanted to give up the car, and he sort of changed his mind on that. But it's still, it was enough that he felt he wanted to move out of his current home into a assisted living. Well, once we told him what assisted living was, he didn't want that. But what we've done, settled on, is finding a place for independent living. And so I spent the last 3 days looking at that and looking at different places. Went with him on 2 of those days, my brother and Mike and I and our wives. And boy, I'll tell you what, that wears you out.
Yeah.
Just like you did that for your mom years ago.
Several times.
In Lincoln, and several times, yeah. And it wears you right out. Yeah. So we do finally, yesterday we looked at one last place, and then he ended up deciding on the second place that we looked at. One place felt more like a Carnival cruise ship, which was fun and all that, but that's not him. And the other place, the one he picked, felt more like a country club, which is more like him, where you even can't come in dinner in your shorts or jeans. You got to have, business casual. And he liked that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think he would, but he did. That's how he dresses.
And I'll tell you, it was more. It wasn't more expensive, it was just more refined, is the way to say it. And it's just a matter of taste. The staff on all the places we looked at were over the top. That was really impressive to me.
That's what I'm finding with my mom too. If you got to pick a good place according to the way the staff treats the residents.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't really know that till they get in there, but you can tell a lot by even when you walk around, if they know their name and if they greet them.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel better, and it makes you know they're going to treat your parent with respect and understanding. We tried. My mom expected to live with me near the end. It was just the old way.
We needed 22,000 square feet to make that work, and we don't have that kind
Our condo wasn't big enough. It just wasn't going to work. But with his dad, the same thing, and I think it's because it would take away their independence too much. And both of them are extremely independent.
And even though he's talked about giving up his car, in fact, he talked about that pretty strongly.
Yeah.
He's now sort of reneged on that, which is fine with me. We don't care.
No, he drives good.
He drives good, and he still wants to get around.
Yeah.
I do think once he gets into the facility and starts to experience everything with the meals and everything else, he'll find his need to go out becoming less and less. So next week I've got to do paperwork for that for him and figure out all of that. And I think we're looking at moving. It's now getting like the 20th or 21st of June. We're looking at him moving in. We'll rent it right away, but he'll move in around August 1st is what we're thinking. So that's where that's at.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the second place though yet, and I'm going to show it to you Monday.
The brochures and everything is beautiful. So.
Yeah, it really is. And so I think the biggest things were really taken care of for him. He gets his house, his apartment. It's an apartment, nice size. It gets cleaned once a week. The bed linens get changed once a week. He has, he'll keep his car there for now, but he does have the ability to get free transportation to like stores or doctors or all that. The other thing is he gets 2 meals a day. He gets breakfast, and then he can choose lunch or dinner. And my dad typically doesn't eat much lunch, and he's got a kitchenette right in the a little kitchen. Really, it's not even a kitchenette because it's got a stove and everything, which I don't think he'll use. But he can make his coffee in the morning there, and then at lunch he can get some cottage cheese out, which he likes, or whatever, lunch meat, that kind of thing. I think I'd like to know from people what they found out. Is did they opt to have their parent in or their in-law in home with them, and how's that working, and what unexpected expenses did you find?
Well, a lot of it is a financial decision.
It can be, yeah. Or what kind of decision you made as far as either independent or assisted living. Now, we're going with independent, but what we did find is with your mom, and we did it with her, and with my dad, we find they're in independent. Typically, it's a lot less money per month than assisted, and you can graduate up by using outside sources to come in like once, twice, 3 times a week. And even the place where my dad's going, they've got people that they are on standby for that, and you pay them by the hour. And there's a point break out there, obviously, but price break.
Well, there's a need break. They'll need more.
And they'll need more,
you can provide that way.
But he does his own medicines. I mean, he does his own showering and all that kind of stuff. So there's not a big deal.
The thing I've noticed is that a lot of people our age are not dealing with parents.
No.
Because parents have passed away, but maybe it's more and more our age, but our parents both are in their 90s.
Yeah, yours is 98, mine's 94.
My mom's
95 in the end of the year.
And now she's in a skilled nursing, which is a nursing home, basically. And she's happier than she has ever been.
What's funny, and I wouldn't say this to my dad, but what's funny is he's really wanting to make this change, which is great. No problem, no fight there. But my mother would have made this change 3 years ago because she was done cooking, but he sort of didn't want to because he liked her cooking and all that. But now that she's gone, he doesn't like cooking his own stuff.
Well, and he thought he'd have to give up his car.
Yes.
He didn't know the difference
he
that
didn't know.
Could live in independent living and still keep your car. If you go to assisted, you cannot.
Yeah, that's right.
Which,
who knows?
if you go to assisted, you can't really do it
And
anymore.
by the way, even this independent, he gets free laundry service every week.
Yep.
And beds changed and the house cleaned.
Yep.
He gets 2 meals a day, breakfast. Everybody gets breakfast, and then he can choose lunch or dinner.
That's what my mom got.
We can go and have dinner with him. It's $14, and you can order.
Yep.
And I looked at the menu, talking about the Papa's Kitchen, thinking the menu was outstanding at the place he picked. I mean, on there, anytime available is filet mignon, is salmon. I mean, and I looked at some people. We were there. You weren't there, Sue. That had plates and they were eating, and I went past them in the dining room when we were there. I couldn't believe how much food was on there. So I'm sort of anxious. Monday we go in, sign the paper, And I'm anxious to have a lunch there. They said we could stay
Well,
for lunch.
are you going to look for an apartment
No,
for you?
no. I want my independence. I like my neighbors. I want my independence.
Well,
and I like cooking.
Well, you could still.
No, I'm not.
They have a
that.
kitchen?
I'm not. Yeah, in the apartment. I'm not doing that.
That's what my sister-in-law said. Man, maybe I could move in there.
Yeah, we'll let her. Then we'll come and visit her.
And her husband goes, no, we're not doing that yet.
Not yet.
So we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah.
What you've done, your experience. We use, by the way, and I did this for my mom too, we use A Place for Mom.
Yes.
Is advertised. And
yes.
they do, they help you a lot. They do contact you a lot, but honestly, they're really out to help you do the best.
Yeah.
And so I've had positive experiences both times. It's a free service.
Yeah.
The facility you land at is who pays them.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't push any facility, honestly. She suggested here that we see 4 different ones.
Yep.
And she said there are more if it doesn't work. And they've just been very, very helpful.
Yeah, they really were.
Yeah.
She was wonderful. Her name is Kelly.
So I would, if you don't know where to begin, that's a good place
Call
to begin.
them people.
Yeah. But the best is word of mouth. If you know somebody who has somebody there, that's the very, very best.
And what I told my dad when he walked in, I says, in each place, I says, you will know when you feel like at home a little bit. And he did. He did.
He
The
knew
first,
right away.
The one place, I don't know if I mentioned it, felt like a Carnival Cruise Line, and it was fine, but it was a little different feeling. This place that he picked is more like a country club, more sedate and more laid back. So, we'll see. We'll see. I did tell him we're moving only one time. We're not going to try this for 6 months and then go somewhere. No. We're moving once.
So you said sedate and laid back.
Well, I meant more
golfers.
Golfing kind of feel.
Like they're dressed nice.
Business casual for dinner. We don't let you in on shorts or flip-flops. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll give you an update, but he's not going to move in till at the end of July, 1st of August. So we have all of July to put it together.
I keep looking around while you're talking because it's so beautiful.
Here, we'll show
Look at there. Oh my goodness,
Isn't it gorgeous?
And by the way, on this video, I'll show you a little bit of a little interview Susan did with Eleanor. I think you'll find that interesting too.
I asked her a question, so it was an answer I wasn't expecting.
So look at Florida's the place to be if you want to come down, and you can join us on the beach, not in my house. I'm not even letting my dad in. So
thanks for watching.
See you later.
Have a great weekend. I got this recording on him, and I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. If you could tell someone how to be prepared for this time of your life, do you think you can be prepared? I don't know if you can even be prepared. Can you?
No, because most of the time you never think about it.
That's right.
You never even think about it, what it's going to be like.
Do you think you should think about it?
I don't know. Because a lot of times you ended up in a lot of different, in a very much different place than you ever expected to be.
It's true.
Like here, I never thought I'd be in this place, but I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. And you never thought you'd live this long.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Because when we went out to do the King's Kids Village, we were 75.
Yeah.
And I felt young.
You were young. You were my age.
Yeah, I was young.
And I feel young.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, maybe I need to go to start an orphanage. But you're happy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is a wonderful place.
It is. It's a very nice place.
I'm so glad we found it.